host of the Gridiron.
All right, welcome to the Gridiron, baby. If you can give this video a thumbs up or maybe share this video, that would be absolutely freaking phenomenal. If you subscribe to my channel, thank you. If not, please go down below, hit the subscribe button, hit that bell icon. That way, next time I go live or if I put a video out, you'll be notified. And it's free of charge. It's totally free of charge. What do you got to lose, right? But if you are subscribed to my channel, thank you. Also in the description box below, I think it's like maybe like one of the very top links. If you want to help support my channel out, it's a link that takes you to my membership page. I got 3 different membership levels. Each one has their own little perks to them. So if you want to help support my channel out, it would mean so much to me. And I thank you in advance. Thank you. And then also finally, just right underneath that, there's a link that takes you to my Facebook group. It's called the New York Giants, the Gridiron. It's my Facebook group. Basically, if I'm alive and breathing and if I got internet access, I am putting stuff in this group darn near 365. We have over 9,500 members in this group, and it's doing simply marvelous, might I add. It's called the New York Giants, the Gridiron. It's my Facebook group. Please join it. You will not be dissatisfied. I promise. All right, guys. Well, hey, what can you say, guys? Ravens, 437,921 New York football. First time in football history that a team scored 1 point in the NFL. First time ever. Giants scored 1. They lost by 437,921 to 1. So, oh, yeah. Yep. But are you surprised? Truthfully, are you really? I'm not. I mean, that pretty much went as expected. You didn't really know exactly how things were going to go. I mean, did you say, well, Lamar's probably going to throw for 5 touchdown passes, and nah. Now we're probably going to lose another quarterback, the 18th quarterback this season. Did you figure? Nah. I mean, there's a million things you can point to and look at, and there's some good things. There were certainly some bad things, obviously, but it is what it is, right? The football gods have not been kind to the Giants this year, especially with the injuries. I mean, there's no team out there, that with the quarterback situations the Giants are in, there's not one team out there that would be going to the Super Bowl and winning if it was like what's going on with the Giants. Now, truthfully, some of it obviously also has to do with the fact that, some of it, the quarterbacks may be getting injured, hit. There's maybe, running for their lives, shall we say, because their offensive line sometimes is also decimated too, right? So let's not forget about that. I mean, but there's no team out there with the injuries the Giants have that be going to the Super Bowl, So the Giants are for whatever reason, not that the Giants and the Giants were healthy, were going to a Super Bowl, but for whatever reason, the Giants are just whatever reason, the football gods above have it in for the Giants this year, apparently as they have almost every year for the past 10, 11, 12 years, and they're letting other teams, for whatever reason, have good seasons, allowing them to have. I mean, they have good players, good coaches, and all that, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I mean, if the Chiefs lost both their tackles, lost Kelsey, their tight end, down to their 318 quarterback, they're not going to the Super Bowl. Doesn't matter with the Eagles. Doesn't matter. They lost both their tackles. Actually, Runyon's out, so they lost their left guard. They're on an 18,447 quarterback. They're not going anywhere. Some teams are lucky. Good for them. But I mean, as that also, as far as going to the Super Bowl, Giants were going to the Super Bowl. But I'm just saying, you can look at, the Bills, the Lions, the Vikings, the teams with, got the great records and anticipation of going to a Super Bowl. None of them would go in the Super Bowl if they got hit as bad as what the Giants are. So it is what it is. Maybe one of these years in the next 315 trillion years, maybe the football gods above will allow the Giants to maybe have a decent season with injuries. Obviously, compiling a Super Bowl winning squad is one thing, but it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. You can take the greatest teams of all, combine them all, and if every one of those players gets injured, it doesn't matter. And so, unfortunately, fortunately, thank God, we only got 3 games left in this season. And we can look forward to the off season. All right, once again, as we usually wind up doing, right? How much money do we have to spend in free agency? What free agents can we pick up? Who we might draft? That's pretty much the same old. Right? As we sit home watching, drinking and eating some Cheetos and stuff, watching the Super Bowl, watching other teams, compete for the Super Bowl. Meanwhile, while the Giants are at home once again, but let's go over some of this. Basically, it was a good team came in. They were really jonesing for a victory because they did not want to lose many more games this season. So they came in. They came off a bye. They were healthy. They needed a win. It was a get-right game for them. The Giants were all banged up. As what expected happened. Right. So I got some articles here. First one is from what we got, SI.com. Talk about giving the Giants a report card, right? For the game. Offense. For the first time since 1992. Now, this is a good one here, right? Giants have had 4 quarterbacks take a snap in a regular season game when starter Tommy DeVito left the game in the first half of the concussion. So we got to go back like 33 years, 32, 33 seasons. Right? We had 4 quarterbacks. Right? Have to take a snap. Not that it mattered, the Giants managed just 236 yards of offense, averaging 3.9 yards per play. They were 2 for 12 on third downs, 7%. And of their 9 possessions, they went 3 and out on 2 and failed to record a first down on 3. The longest play of the game was for 25 yards, Tim Boyle to Wan'Dale Robinson. We'll talk a little bit about Tim Boyle, though. Want more? The running game mustered only 55 yards on 20 carries, 2.8 yards per carry, with 1 touchdown by Devin Singletary. There were 2 drop passes. Wan'Dale and Tyrone Tracy Jr. now has 6 drops on the season. Yes, the offense is now missing 2 starting offensive linemen. Still safe, and also Theo Johnson as well, too. Almost everyone is on the field except for a playmaking quarterback. The position continues to be the team's Achilles heel. Defense. With few exceptions, the defense had no answers to stop Lamar Jackson. It's unfair to give this unit a failing grade considering all the starters are missing. Yeah, I mean, basically, almost all team was missing. Right? I mean, so what do you really expect? What do you really expect? Right? Dexter Lawrence, Nacho, Bobby Okereke, Tyler Nubin, Deontay Banks, Cordell Flott, Drew Phillips, all come to mind. Still, those who dressed were expected to play, and I just say that the performance resembled a preseason game more than a late season effort. There was busted coverages all over the place. Yeah, I mean, Lamar was, I think, 13 out of 14 in the first half, I think it was. I mean, 5 touchdown passes. I mean, he had like a perfect quarterback rating. And just Dane Belton and Micah McFadden combined for 25 tackles. Kudos to those guys. But many were further down the field. And why did it take Kayvon? I don't know what's going on with this man. I don't know. I hope this guy doesn't want big bucks. Took the dude 11 minutes to go in the game before I think he had an assisted tackle with 11 minutes to go in the game. Kayvon, where are you, brother? Where are you? I mean, where's all that talk about greatness and stuff like that and everything? Right? Where's that at? Man. I mean, I'm sure that I'd be shocked if the Giants don't pick up his fifth-year option, but my God, dude, where are you? I mean, come on, man. Cornerback Adoree Jackson getting the start with Banks and flat sideline. Jackson forced and recovered a fumble on the Ravens' opening drive to snuff out one of their red zone visits. And Burnsy, good old Brian Burns, got to give that man a lot of credit. Playing in pain, this, that, and the other thing, the man shows up to play. So got to give that man a lot of credit. You can say what you want about with McKinney, right, and Saquon and all of that and everything, but Burns was, I think, a very good pickup for the Giants. Burns led the team with 5 pressures as he continues to play his heart out. Yes, he does, despite ailing with injuries. The guy's always has had, since training camp, there's always been something wrong with the guy, and all he does is show up and ball out every week. So, Mr. Burns, thank you, brother. Thank you. You're a little bit of a shining light in this season of darkness. So, Burnsy, thank you. Thank you. Now, whatever you're making, was it 27, 28, 29 million? Yeah, whatever. Thank you, brother. Greatly appreciate it. Right? You're still balling out. Thank you. Ravens racked up 445 yards of offense. Special teams, this was, right off for the opening kickoff. And that punt return, just, another week, another series of clunkers from a special teams unit that, thanks to the problems elsewhere, punting team has been flying under the radar for its underperforming ways this season. Yeah, I'll tell you what, Gobes, I'll tell you what, I don't know. I'm not extremely impressed with his coaching this season. So with Hill's 59-yard kickoff return to open the game. We're starting the game. Here we go, baby. Woo, and they kick it off to them, and the guy just woo all the way down the field. It's like, so they started the game with 37 Giants 37-yard line to open the game up. Added in a clunker of a punt from Jamie Gillian that traveled just 37 yards and was returned back 23 yards, aided by at least one missed tackle by Bryce Ford Wheaton. 0 punt return yards by Smith Marset, who did have 2 fair catches, and who also had the Giants' longest kickoff return of the day, 30 yards. You can't knock Smith Marset. I think he's done a really good job this year. Can't knock him. Otherwise, there's not much there regarding the Giants gaining any sort of advantage in terms of starting field position. Graham Gano had no field goal attempts, but he did make both PATs, which, if you're looking for something positive, is there. Coaching. So let me get this straight. Brian Dable got into a hissy fit when his 4th down play call failed. The play in question had Eric Gray, an obvious decoy, on the field. He then had the smallish DeVito run up the gut, a play that continues to be a head-scratcher given DeVito's size. One thing I would like to see, it would be maybe a bigger ball carrier. The only thing is with that, the one thing I hate about having a bigger ball carrier on 4th down, is that, and who's getting the ball, but we don't have anybody who, of course, nobody has a Derrick Henry, right? But somebody, a boomer, a banger, somebody you can give the ball to, you can hopefully get those 4th and 1s for you. Just a lot of. Bottom line is that you have a team that has now lost 9 straight games for the 5th time since 1976. And of course, in 76, we lost the first 9 games of the season. We started off 0-9 before we wound up winning the game. So, all right, what else we got here? We got all kinds of stuff. Needless to say, you can, talking about the game, you can be here for about 3.5 years talking about all the negativity in the game and everything. But, Boom. Yeah. Lamar would, he looked really good. But then again, I mean, he was going to basically, if you want to look at it, it was like, Lamar and their offense went up basically up against like a second team defense, pretty much, right? So, and that's the result you get. You gave up 35 points. There's so many differences and disparities with what was out on the field at MetLife Stadium on another Sunday that put on display what the Giants are, what they are not, and how far they have to go to dig out of one of the deepest ruts in franchise history. Just straight up trash. Straight up trash. It could take hours to determine why it was Ravens 35, Giants 14, and why the home team has lost 9 consecutive games, and why there are all sorts of dastardly things coursing through a team and a fan base and the air space. Yes, another air message, right? Rising up. You all right, buddy? Rising above all else is why Lamar Jackson performed for his team, and the way those at the position employed by the Giants labored through another unsightly showing. Oh yeah, just straight up trash, absolute trash. I really, I mean, anybody who entered the game really should have was allowed to just go in for nothing. Really, I mean, that was just absolute garbage. Absolutely, to charge somebody to watch that just absolute pathetic trash garbage. Example of football. There's no way. You should have paid those people to go in there. Everybody who goes in gets $100. Here's $100 for you. Thanks for showing up. Here's $100 for you. Right? Of course, it is about the quarterback more than anything else. The Ravens have a great one. Giants have cycled through 4 of them this season, and the search will soon be on to find someone to lead them out of the darkness. I said, but this is the same thing. I mean, if the Ravens would be on their 4th quarterback right now, basically have but half their defense gone. I mean, are they winning? Yeah. I mean, they might have won this game. I don't know, but but would they be? What are they? 9-5? No, of course not. They're lucky. Good for them. The Giants are not. Not that the Giants would be 9-5, but the Giants wouldn't be put in a position to be anywhere near 9-5 because obviously they don't have the talent, but they don't have they don't have the luck because they're just one injury after the other. Let's see. I mean, it's just we got a couple others here. This one's got a bunch of good stuff in it here. This one. Notes and stats, Giants and Ravens recap. Oh, yeah. Notes and statistics from the Giants' 35-14 loss. Tim Boyle has made his Giants debut, playing the final snap of the first half and the entire second half after Tommy DeVito suffered a concussion. Boyle, who first joined the Giants practice squad on November 19th and was signed to the active roster for a second time yesterday, meaning Sunday, completed 12 of 24 passes, 123 yards, a 23-yard touchdown pass to Malik Neighbors, and 1 reception. Neighbors caught the Giants' first touchdown since November 3rd. First touchdown pass, when Theo Johnson and Chris Manhurst scored on throws from Daniel Jones against Washington. In his second start of the season, DeVito hit 10 of 13 passes, 68 yards, and led the Giants on 1 touchdown drive that was aided by about 312 Ravens penalties. It was amazing. 4 quarterbacks have thrown passes for the Giants this season: Jones, Locke, DeVito, and Boyle. This is the first time, first season in which they have since 1992 with Kent Graham, Dave Brown, Hostetler, and Sims. Neighbors continues to distinguish himself in a disappointing season. Targeted 14 times, the outstanding rookie caught 10 passes for 82 yards. It was his 3rd double-digit catch game of the season. He had 10 receptions against Washington and against Dallas. Neighbors fell short of 1 record, but put himself in position to set 2 others. He increased his season total to 90 catches, the second highest total by an NFL player in his first 12 games. and one behind Odell Beckham Jr.'s record of 91 set in 2014. Beckham and Saquon Barkley jointly hold the Giants' rookie record of 91 receptions. Neighbors, who was averaging 7.5 catches a game, needs just 2 receptions in the final few weeks to break that mark. So, I mean, it's just, he's going to beat the market. The cool thing is let's get, he needs, I think, 99 receiving yards to get 1,000, and he needs like 10 receptions to get 100. So let's see in the final 3 games of the season against the Falcons, that's doable. Against the Colts, that's doable, right? And even against the Eagles, you don't know what's going on with the Eagles, because you don't know, because they're going to, apparently they'll have everybody. They'll be 14-2, final game of the season. Do they need to rest their players? Going to be interesting to see. If he maintains his current pace, Neighbors will easily top Puka Nakua's NFL rookie record of 105 receptions set last season. He would become the 4th rookie wide receiver in history with 100-plus catches. Neighbors' 82 yards increased the season total to 901. That moved him past Jeremy Shockey's 894 in 2002, and into second place on the Giants rookie list. He'll never catch Beckham's 1,305 yards. But then again, Beckham had Eli Manning throwing the football. There's a difference. And Eli Manning was the only one throwing the football. We've had. I'm going to go over this here. We've had Jones, DeVito, Locke, DeVito, and Boyle. Right? We've had 5 quarterbacks throwing passes this year of necessity. Not like we put so and so in there because the Giants are winning 1,242 to nothing. Or what? No, we needed 5 quarterbacks out of necessity, and of course, 4 different quarterbacks, but of course, like 3 of them, we don't even know who's going to be playing on Sunday. No idea. Tyrone Tracy led the Giants with just 31 rushing yards on 10 carries. Of course, we have no offensive line; it's all banged up. Devin Singletary gained 25 yards. This reminds me of the 70s, when your top 2 leading rushers, one guy like Larry Zonka had 31 rushing yards, and Doug Kotar had 25 rushing yards to lead the team. You add it up, it's like, wow, that's 56 yards between the 2 of them. That's nothing. Well, that's the way it was back then, too. Giants sacked the Baltimore quarterback Lamar Jackson twice and backup Josh Johnson once. The 3 sacks were the Giants' highest total since they had 4 at Pittsburgh. Brian Burns had the first sack of Jackson and raised his season total to 8. So maybe he might get double digits, but I think he's doing a very, very good job. We have a very good front, but of course, if they're all banged up, it doesn't really matter too much, right? But I'm very disappointed in Kayvon this year. He's been MIA. I don't know if it's Bowen's system. Don't know. Don't know. But Kayvon's been a huge disappointment this season. Dane Belton, who played the entire game at safety in place of Tyler Nubin, recorded his first sack of the season. And the second of his career. Belton had a 14-yard sack at 2023 season finale against Philadelphia. Belton led the Giants with a career-high 14 tackles. 8 more than his previous best, and knocked down what would have been a long Jackson touchdown pass to Bateman. Micah McFadden had the Giants' 3rd sack, his career-high 3rd of the season. McFadden made 11 tackles also. Jackson threw 5 touchdown passes. Jackson completed his first 8 passes and hit on 21 of 25. 290 yards, 5 touchdowns, no interceptions, and a passer rating. I think that's a perfect passer rating, 154.6. Once again, no interceptions. So we still have 2 on the season. After 14 games, we have 2 interceptions. And thankfully, Dory Jackson, with the fumble recovery, or quite possibly, if we didn't stop that opening drive, it quite possibly would have been 42-14. Bateman caught touchdown passes of 49 and 20 yards, both in the second quarter. kind of helped kind of blow the game wide open. Well, not wide open, but it was, 21-7, I think, at the halftime. And, of course, it only got worse from there. On the game's second play, Dory Jackson forced him to recover a fumble. After Jackson, the quarterback, ran for a 15-yard gain to the Giants' 12-yard line. It was the Giants' second takeaway on an opponent's opening possession of the season. Let's see. The forced fumble was the sixth of Jackson's career. Cornerback D. Williams returned a kickoff 23 yards in his Giants debut. Cool. Greg Stroman started a cornerback, his first start of the season, his sixth of his 7-year career. He had 6 tackles, 5 solo. The Giants used their 7th different starting offensive line combination of the season and their 6th in the last 8 games, which is not a good thing. Once again, if other teams had to do that as well, too, they would not be in position to win many games. But once again, that's what the Giants are cursed with every year. Injuries. Not a phenomenal, cast, but also injuries as well. Same 5 linemen started each of the first 6 games, and after that, it's been all downhill. Let's say, of course, because obviously you got the left side, right? You got Thomas and Runyon. They're gone. Injury reserve for the season. Jermaine Illuminor returned to the starting lineup at left tackle after missing the previous 2 games with the quad injury. And you're kind of wondering, how well was he? Aaron Stinney made his first start of the season in place of John Runyon, who was placed on injury reserve. It was Stinney's 18th career start, and first since he started the final 13 games of the 2023 Tampa Bay Buccaneers season. Baltimore was the first team to score more than 30 points against the Giants since Philadelphia did last season on Christmas Day. And the first to do so at MetLife Stadium since Dallas, put up the 40-burger against the Giants last season. Giants lost their 9th consecutive game. That ties the franchise single-season record set in 2019. That obviously in this week coming up against the Falcons. Falcons are fighting for their playoff lives. Of course, they beat the pathetic the Raiders. Right, so they're fighting for their lives. So that's going to be a very tough win in Atlanta, right? To beat the Falcons this week. So quite possibly the Giants will be losing their 10th game in a row. Giants fell 0-8 at MetLife Stadium, the first time in their history they've lost 8 games at home in a season. The Giants' final home game is against the Colts on December 28th or 29th. Only one Giants team, 1974, has gone winless at home, and that was 0-7 in a 14-game season. That's when they were at the Yale Bowl. There was they lost a game in 1974 in overtime to the Jets. They could have won that one against the Jets. Pete Gogolak missed the field goal. He thought it went inside, but apparently he just missed the upright by about a couple feet or so. But the Giants did have a chance to win that game in overtime. They also blew a game to the Cardinals. The Giants, I can't remember what the final score was, but they were winning 24-23, I think it was. And it was like 30 seconds to go in the game. The Giants went ahead, beat the Cardinals. Cardinals were a good team in 74. And the Giants went ahead, and for some reason they decided to squib kick the ball. They squib kicked it. The guy got it and ran it out to like the 40-yard line. And I said there was like 30 seconds to go in the game, somewhere around there. And the Cardinals completed, I think, like 2 passes. And then Jim Bachman came on the field, and his time ran out. He kicked the game-winning field goal. I think the final score was 26-24. But had the Giants tried to get a little too cute, had the Giants kick the ball deep all the way down to the goal line and maybe try to tackle the guy around the 20, right? Maybe there's 2 completed passes that the Cardinals had for I think the 2 completed passes got like maybe 30 yards, somewhere around there, maybe 30, 35 yards. Well, I mean, if they tackled the guy around the 20, had they gotten 30, 35 yards, Jim Bakken wouldn't have came out and kicked the field goal because they just moved the goalpost to the back of the end zone, right? And so, so the Giants might have won that game as well, too. So the Giants had a couple opportunities in 74 to win home games. They just, once again, just the way this season's gone, everything's gone wrong. Well, that was the same thing in 74. Let's see. Giants inactive players included 6 who have made a combined 51 starts this season, 3 of them of cornerbacks with 25 total starts. I mean, it's like the secondary is just, Tay Banks, Cordell Flott, Drew Phillips, Bobby Okereke, Nacho, just Tyler Newman, it's just unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. Then I got one thing here. I got, what's going on? What's up, guys? Would that be the Cardiac Cardinals? I don't think they were the Cardiac. There was the Cardiac Browns. That was that 80? 80 or 80? Might have been 80. That might have been 80. That's when they had that pass that Brian Sipe threw in the end zone. I can't remember what the play call was, and the one dude for the Raiders jumped in front of it and caught it. That's that playoff game. Tough game for the Giants. Jackson ran. Oh yeah. What do you think the Giants are going to draft? Well, we're going to talk about that here. Talk about who the Giants might want to draft in there. We're going to do a little bit talking about that. It may not be up to them, if you know what I mean. Hang around for a little bit, and we're going to talk about that. If you see the Raiders play, it may not be up to them. So then we got this final one here. Got kudos and wet woolies. Tim Boyle time. Yes, the Giants ended up playing their 4th quarterback of the season on Sunday. Let's see, this is from Big Blue View. He gives kudos and wet woolies and all that stuff and everything. This is Ed Valentine? Yeah. So the banner guy, another guy, I guess they paid somebody else to drive around or fly over MetLife Stadium with another banner. I guess this time asking Mara to fire everybody. Kudos. He gave kudos to Micah McFadden. The 3rd-year linebacker continues to show impressive development. 11 tackles, a sack, and a quarterback hit. Tim Boyle. You got to give the dude some credit. We're going to talk about Tim Boyle here. We're going to talk about it. Got to give him some credit. Some, right? Tim Boyle did a nice job. As nice as could be expected. Let's see. Giants wide receiver Wan'Dale Robinson said the team's wide receivers have never caught live passes from Boyle. Right? And that's something. Yeah. There's no familiarity with how he throws the ball, or he doesn't know their timing, or how they like to run their routes, or where they like the balls at, and all this stuff. Let's see. Boyle finished 12 out of 24, 123 yards and a touchdown pass. There was one here where we had here. Okay, so I mean, this is kind of impressive, right? Kind of. Giants their 5 longest plays of the game, right? 25-yard pass to Robinson, the 23-yard touchdown pass to Neighbors, 17-yard completion to Daniel Bellinger, a 16-yard pass to Neighbors, a 16-yard pass to Slayton. All completions by Boyle. Right? And he did that basically in the second half. Right? So, Malik Neighbors, right? He's not 100% either. Right? Because he's had the groin, he's had the hip, so he's not 100%, but he's still balling out. And his talents are not being used to the fullest. Neighbors is still being productive. He caught 10 passes and 14 targets, 82 yards, and a touchdown. He now has 90 receptions on the season, and knock on wood, well on his way to 100 receptions, and hopefully well on his way to 1,000 yards receiving. And 1,000 yards receiving, we're going to talk about a little further in our program here. What will these go to Giants special teams? Gave up the 59-yard kickoff return on the opening game. Jamie Gilliam, a poor punt and a 22-yard return by Desmond King to set up Baltimore's first touchdown. A holding penalty negated a nice kickoff return by Smith Marset. Greg Dulcich committed a block in the back penalty on another kickoff return. Says here, at least Eric Gray didn't fumble, probably because he was replaced on kickoff return by D. Williams. The substitute secondary gets a wet willy. This one might be kind of unfair starting. Obviously, Tyler Newman is on the IR. None of the starting cornerbacks, were out there. Jackson completed 25 to 29 passes, 5 touchdowns. Kayvon Thibodeau, the 2022 first-round pick, didn't even crack the stat sheet until there were 11 minutes left in the game. What a frickin' joke. When he assisted on a tackle. That single assisted tackle was his only contribution. As depleted as the Giants are, they need to get production from their best players. Anything. Games like this make you wonder if Thibodeau is actually one of those best players, or has he packed it in for the season too? No sense of me getting injured, right? Then we got then he has kind of these things here called Quillies. Dane Belton had 14 tackles, a sack, a tackle for a loss, a pass defense, and a quarterback hit. Belton, though, was part of the secondary that got torched by the Ravens quarterback Lamar Jackson. And Dory Jackson, the veteran cornerback, stripped scrambling Jackson and recovered the fumble on Baltimore's opening drive. Again, though, he was part of a secondary that was mostly helpless to stop the Baltimore Ravens passing attack. Well, I said he was, thinking of Jim Hunt for the Cardiac Cardinals. He's played for. Oh yeah, but I know there was the Cardiac. I know the Browns. I don't know. I'm not sure if the Cardinals were called the Cardiac. The Browns. I think it was 1980. What it called the Cardiac. I think they were called the Cardiac Browns or the Cardiac Kids because they had a lot of come from behinds. That was the year that the 80 was when the Raiders, they beat the Eagles in the Super Bowl. So that might have been, let me type this in here. 1980 Cleveland Browns. I know they were called the Cardiac something or other. '80. See, they were 11-5. Is that when they lost in the? Yeah, that's when they lost 14-12 to the Raiders. They were in field goal range, and Sipe throws an interception in the end zone. They won a bunch of close games. They won 27-24, 17-14, 17-14, 28-27, 27-21, 27-26, 26-21, 34-27, 20-13. They won a bunch of close games. I think they were called Cardiac. That's possible with the Cardinals. They had that really good offensive line. Eric Metcalf was there. Obviously, Hart could throw the football very well. Mel Gray was a phenomenal wide receiver for them. They had a good. Their defense was not that great, but their offense could certainly put up some points. That's for sure. I know their offensive line one year. I forgot what year it was. Only gave up like 8 sacks all season long. They were really, really good. I know. What was it? 75. The year the Giants played at Shea Stadium. I think it was Brian Kelly. I think he blitzed in. I forgot what game of the season it was, but he went in. Let's see. Let's look there. 1975. 1975 New York Giants. Oh, there we go. So when they played the Cardinals at Shea Stadium, they sacked. Okay, they lost 30. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so in 1975, the Cardinals went to Shea Stadium and played the Giants because that's where they played the Giants. The Giants played their home game in 75. Was at Shea Stadium. So in the 6th game of the season, the Giants, it was Brian Kelly. It was either Hughes or Kelly. I think it was Kelly. I think blitzed in and sacked their quarterback, Jim Hart. Well, that was the first time all season Hart had been sacked. It was in the 6th game of the season. That's pretty. I mean, their offensive line was really, really good, really, really good. Well, I mean, the nuts and bolts for me would have done it. Yeah. I mean, the 4th down. I mean, like 18 inches. I mean, it wasn't even a yard. We don't have anybody in there that can dive over the pile. I don't seem like that like to dive over the pile anymore. But we don't have a big bruiser back in there. We also don't seem to have a lot of imagination going on either here. I don't know. I thought with Dable calling plays, we'd have some imagination, but it just ain't there. It's just a loser of a season. I mean, you can't even get like half a yard on 4th down. It's like, one of the things is that like with Michael Schmitz is that good, this, that, and the other thing and all and everything, but he's just like undersized, and it seems like sometimes when he's maybe going up and he has to wind up outpowering or whatever. He just seems like he's just, I mean, if he's going to maybe try to block somebody in space or whatever, he does have the wrestling, he should be able to, with angles and stuff like that and all, should be able to do a decent job. But it just seems like he's just like undersized. He's not as he should. Hopefully he keeps working on getting stronger in the off season and all and everything, because he just seems to get overpowered sometimes. Like, so I don't know if going like me, trying to get a good push up front. I mean, Kelsey could do that really good. He was undersized too, but it seemed like he was a lot better at it than like Michael Schmitz is. I don't know if we got the horses up there to just line up and just blow people off the ball. We just don't seem to have that.